Okay, so now I'm looking at number 3. I apologize that the handout is a little bit crowded, but just notice that the question is at the bottom here. I'm just going to draw this line here. Eventually. Here we go. This statement right here has to do with the problem above. Here on number 3, we're asking for we're asking what line segment is congruent to RP. So because they've given us this drawing, first we can also look at the drawing. RP, so here's R, so there's R and there's P, right? See how it's got 3 little marks on it? That means it's congruent to anything else that's got 3 little marks on it. So there's the 3 little marks. So one way of answering this question, because they gave us the drawing, is to look at the drawing and say, okay, well, PR has to be congruent to XV. So that's XV, and we'll put a line above it. That's what says it's a line segment. But we can also look at the congruent statement. P and R, see how P and R are the first and last letter here? So they correspond to X and V. See how X and V are also the first and third? That's another reason we know that RP has to be congruent to XV, because if this triangle is congruent to this triangle, if they state it this way, everything is lined up in the way they say it. The things that are in the same spot are congruent to each other. So let me erase here and let's just think about what some other questions could be. So if they ask me what is congruent to PQ, line segment PQ, there's PQ right there. Looking at the diagram, I can see it's got to be RX, right? RX. But I can also go in the from the congruent statement here. PQ is these two right here, right? And X and R, see how PQ is the first and the second one? XR is the first and the second one. I wrote RX, but RX and XR is the same thing. It just, you know, you can for a line segment, it doesn't matter what order you write the 2 letters. It means the same thing. If they asked about what is congruent to RV, so RV, that's the second and third letter. So the second and third letter here is Q and R, so that's Q and R. But we can also look at the diagram. RV, so RV is the one with 2 marks on it, right? And this one has 2 marks on it. So there's QR, right? Just like we could tell from the statement right there.